I wanted to show you an example of how fringe patterns can be generated by random numbers, so that the grids that you overlay don't have to be regular, like parallel lines or concentric circles or whatever. So I generated a series of random numbers and then plotted them in 2 dimensions. As you can see, this plot looks random and it's made up of random numbers. So I printed that out on just a plain white sheet of paper, and then I printed it again, the exact same image, on an acetate sheet, on a transparency. So let's see what happens when we overlay this. So here's the transparency overlaid. You can see they're the same. Now I'm going to offset it at a little bit of an angle. And right away, I think you can see some circular patterns there. Come back to a small angle here. Now you see like a central circle right here with other circles around it. I'm going to go up just a little bit and look what happens. That thing goes over here to the left. If I go back and forth, I think you see the pattern moving back and forth. I'm sorry, if I go up and down, I think you see the pattern moving back and forth. If I go back and forth, you see now it's moved up to the top, come back a little bit to the left, and now it's moved down to the bottom part. So, back and forth motion creates up and down, and vice versa. But these are random numbers, 2D plot, and you definitely notice, no matter where I put it, there's some patterns. Here's a little greater angle. Now, if I get the angle, this is even greater angle. Again, still you see a pattern here. If I get the angle too great, they're too different, they're too far apart, and we don't see those patterns anymore. So, the human brain tries to make patterns, tries to see patterns, even in random numbers, but they have to be fairly close to each other. Another interesting thing is if I take this sheet, flip it over, now of course they're not similar at all. It's the same pattern, but it's flipped over, and so again, we don't see, they're not close enough to each other that we see any patterns. So they've got to be fairly close. Flip it back over, and immediately I see something right up here. So, interesting concept. I certainly can't explain it, but this is a demonstration that even random number grids can create Moiré fringe patterns.